men's and boys issues. Oh, you're back. Where'd you go?
I got a little countdown like commercial thing. And now Curtis is muted.
And I was stalling like hell over on TikTok because we were live on TikTok while we're doing it. So live TV people, or well, live podcasting, I guess. So anyway, yeah. So welcome to the show, everybody. Curtis, you're muted. I don't know if you know that. How's Lindsay, by the way? Did you pick up a stalker this week like I did?
No.
Jealous?
I am jealous.
Don't worry, she'll probably find you if you ever, because she knows, I do a live show too. She might pop on, who knows? She's actually on Instagram. She's stalking me.
Wow.
She's like literally has tagged me in probably hundreds of posts at this point. She's on day 5 of spending her entire day following me around.
Oh, someone's got a crush on you, I think.
How does it feel to be living rent-free in someone's head?
Well, I actually said to her, because for the most part, I haven't paid attention to her, but I did, on one of her posts, she tagged me in a feminist site. I said, I'm going to start charging you rent because apparently I'm living in your head 24/7 since you're running around tagging me. She didn't like me saying that, of course, because I'm a bully now. But yeah, it's fun. But I was starting to say before you cut out there, I don't know if you guys are familiar with Older Millennial.
Yes.
He talks about politics. I don't know if you saw what's going on with him.
Yes.
But he's picked up a true-to-life stalker. I mean,
Yes.
This woman is nuts.
400-something reports to police, all unsubstantiated.
And it just shows. Now, he's got a history, He's a vet. He freely admits he's had a drinking problem, It's just some of his stuff I don't agree with. Some of it I do. I find him entertaining as hell, though. And she basically has tried to get him booted and arrested. Just goes to show. All right. So I'm hearing kids somewhere.
Yes, one moment, please.
I love when she gets mad.
You can hear it even though she muted it.
It is so fun. Yeah, I got to cringe. Because, she's so sweet and innocent with us. And then mom comes out.
It's sweet and innocent. I have not acquired a stalker, but I have acquired a barrage of guys in my DMs going, hey, honey. Hey, gorgeous. I'm like, oh, God.
What you need to do is send them to your dad.
Well, I have a pre-typed up thing saying that, is this a question about my content or, anything? And when they say no, and I was like, okay, well, before I waste your time and mine, I have to tell you now that I am married. I'm welcome to, comments about our, my content, but if it's anything other than that, go away.
Well, you should tell him you have a 6'1", 280-pound dad and a 6'4", 280-pound brother, and we both know how to use our.
And then I have an actual husband.
No, he's busy. We'll take.
Oh yeah, he's busy.
Got you.
But they seem to come in waves for me, and I'm like, where? And it says at my profile, at least I think it says Air Force wife or military wife or something. And like, it's not a secret that I'm married. My last video on TikTok was me praising my husband. So I mean.
And the rings on your finger half the time might tip it off too.
Yeah, there's that too. But
guess who's on with us on TikTok? Sean Durbandy. I haven't seen Sean in a while. Hey, Sean, saying hello. Hi. So anyway, we're going to get into the show now. We've been stalling, trying to get everything working. I believe we're good. Yes, Curtis?
Mm-hmm.
All right. He told me.
But longer freeze than normal?
Yeah.
This is like it's like when I used to do the radio and we would go silent and the producer would be smacking the window going, will you say something? Nobody can see you right now.
So you froze. Curtis and I were both sitting.
Like, wait, he freezes, but it's only for like a second or two. No, that was a solid like 6 seconds.
That wasn't me. It's you.
Oh.
I'm streaming at 1 gig, so
I'm streaming at 1 gig, up and down.
That's what she said. This is a disaster today. Go, Lindsay. What's the topic?
Oh my.
Curtis actually came up with this topic, so I'm going to let Curtis introduce
Oh,
it.
wow. Throw the ball off because you don't remember either, do you?
Oh, I do, but
Oh,
Curtis
okay.
is the one who came up with it, so I'm giving Curtis the credit.
Okay, so here's what we discussed. So one of the things I run into in court is we have guardian ad litems who are basically attorneys that represent the interest of the child. Then you have children's attorneys who represent the children. Well, here's the other thing that we've noticed is mediators, court family reporters, a whole bunch of stuff like custody evaluators and stuff like that. The problem is most of these people are attorneys.
Mhm.
Well, they have doctorate degrees in law. They don't have doctorate degrees in developmental psychology. They don't have doctorate degrees in forensic psychology. They don't have doctorate degrees in therapy. They can't tell us things that really are at the heart of these matters. So, for me, it was one of those things where we have an opportunity here to discuss really what's at the heart of this,
So, like, Curtis and I were talking off air, and I said that one of the problems that I've run in with some of the guys that I've counseled, I guess, is that the guardians ad litem and everyone else who's associated with the court who has no background in childhood, development or psychology, well, oftentimes these are the people that the court is trusting to catch things like parental alienation or abuse or, all of this stuff, but they're not qualified to catch those things. They have no background in any of this stuff. And so they'll throw rules out like, well, in the case of abuse or a case of this or the case of that, but they don't know how to recognize any of that. So we have two groups of people. We have groups of people that think that the court should be taught how to look for these things, which I don't happen to agree with. I think that the court should yield to the experts and let the experts in the field inform the court rather than have the court, which is law, try and basically stick their foot in a wheelhouse that they don't have the grounds for.
And, another root thing here is just helping on a case this week. And there's members of the Bar Association and judges. There's a judge on a case that says he doesn't believe parental alienation exists.
Oh, that's very common. In fact, I just did an interview on that.
It's kind of one of those things like where we're talking, okay, buddy, what you're a judge that's sitting on the bench and you got appointed. You never made more than $160,000 a year. And here you're basically telling a guy who does this for a living, who makes $500,000 a year, who doesn't know what he's doing. I'm sorry, but I don't know, bothered the heck out of me.
Well, it would be like it would be like a high school science teacher walking into NASA and saying, I don't believe in anything you're talking about. Evolution doesn't exist. And I'm the authority. And it's like, no, you're the authority in maybe teaching youth, but you're not the authority on any of the concepts. Well, like you're unqualified.
Right. That's the problem with it all, is that, like, that judge, I would say to him, so you're telling me that everything I went through, everything I experienced, everything I lived as a child never happened? Because you're saying there's no such thing as alienation. So my mother never stopped me from seeing my father, never went out of her way to disrupt our relationship. Because that's what he's telling. You're invalidating my experience. And
Right.
Where's your expertise to tell me that? Now, I have thrown that at people. There hasn't been a one yet that's been able.
That's a really long pause.
Teenager. So you're going to tell me I didn't see what I saw. Okay. That's like telling a victim of R that it didn't happen to her or him. That's essentially what it is. And I would throw right in their face, especially a judge. I would say, would you say that to an R victim? that it doesn't exist? Of course you wouldn't. And you'd be rightfully so disbarred if you did.
Yes. And here's the funny part. I find retired judges and justices alike here in Iowa, they have a very, very different view of how politics inside the judiciary has crippled the court system.
I don't think to Iowa. I think
Oh, yeah. But
once they're out.
But I have the advantage of being in Iowa to have those folks that have done it, who've sat on the bench and retired, to say, hey, this isn't it,
Somebody on TikTok is saying that they're going to have they're in the afterlife and going to have many spirits join in. Well, thank you for that. We appreciate it. All the ghosts are welcome.
Yep, I'll go get my Ouija board.
Yeah. I had a bad experience with one of them, but it was fun. But yeah, I mean, getting back to the topic, it's when you see judges that are doing that, what can we do though, right? They're already sitting on the bench. They've either been appointed or elected, depending on where they are, right?
Mm-hmm.
So in New York, they're elected for 10 years. You're not getting them off the bench. They would have to screw up so monumentally. And I'm not aware of a single instance where a family court judge was removed from the bench. And they're there for 10 years. So if they come out and say, they get elected, they come out and say that year one, you now have 10 years of families that are never going to have the opportunity to have to try and fix the problem if it exists.
Well, they're using their position for their own activism. They're pushing their own agenda through their appointed position. I personally think that if we're allowed to hold doctors who malpractice medicine responsible, that we should also be able to apply that to anyone who is having that much power over our lives. It's like, look, you used your own position to interpret the law to your agenda, and all these people suffered because of it. That's malpractice. That's legal malpractice.
The problem is when you see, because judicial activism's all over the place now, right? Everybody sees it politically, right? But at least there's some checks and balances with, in theory, the appellate courts and Supreme Court, right? But when it comes to family court, yeah, you can appeal, but I don't know what the current numbers are, but back in the day, it was less than 1% of appeals actually worked. And even if you won the appeal, you went to New York State Appellate Court, they said, yes, he screwed up. It went right back to the same judge that you just got overturned. And trust me, he or she is not going to be happy with you. So they're going to slam you even harder.
Right.
So family court doesn't really have that kind of oversight. The political side, we're seeing it all over the place. There's activist judges, mostly on one side, but to be fair, there's some on the other side. But at least we have checks and balances in theory on them. There are none in family court. So, Lindsay, your kids are like overpowered and everything. Kill them. I love it. I love seeing it. She forgot to mute. Here we go.
Can hear you. Shut up. Go to your rooms and be loud there.
Yes. Get them. Get off my lawn, kid. Hey, Linz. Hey, Lindsay.
I didn't mute myself. I know.
No, you didn't.
Saw.
It was great. We were enjoying the hell out of it. The audience is loving it.
And there's like 7 shades of red right there.
Yeah, there is. And everybody's loving you on TikTok. You're a legend. They just said you're a legend.
Sorry.
No, you have 100% support. Not one person has called you out. Go, give her the love. Wait, where's my little thingy? Hold on, I gotta find it. Show us some love. Come on, we deserve a heart for that. Not that I would ever have stirred that up. All right, let's get back.
I would have.
Oh, I freely admit that I was. But, it's, again, this is a really bad thing because you see it, like Curtis, you mentioned earlier, guardian ad litems are like this.
Oh, they're the worst.
He froze again.
It's that new fiber.
Fiber.
We need to set a stopwatch to this. There he is.
There he is.
It's your new fiber. It has to be.
There. See, I was actually doing.
Oh God. No. Someone down in the comments.
Oh no. The TikTok ones, right?
Yes. Anyway, yes, guardian ad litem's GALs.
We can't repeat it. If you're on TikTok, you can go read the comments. We're not repeating it. She's starting. She's even redder now than she was. The sad part is she probably would. She's my daughter. I shouldn't say things like that.
But it's what is it? Napoleon complex, where you give the GALs have so much power they kind of go to their head, and
the comments are just rolling in. Poor Lit.
Guys, we're trying to be serious.
Yeah, but this is too much fun. She's prettier when she's color correct. She's not even using a filter. We're close to a snort. We're getting there. We're almost there. I can tell. Go ahead.
It's not much longer.
Yeah. And when we get them, they come in back.
There it is.
Yes.
I hate
We're gonna have 2 more because they come in 3s.
And we are just picking on her, but she knows we love her. We do love Lindsay. You had a thought what it was. I have no idea. But
GALs.
That GALs. And the it's a
Napoleon complex.
Yes, Napoleon complex. That a lot of them have this idea in their head that they have so much power of the children's lives, and it kind of goes to their head. And rather than admit that they're out of their depth and they don't know what they're talking about, and I know this for a fact because one of my neighbors up the street is a GAL. And she's always talking when we're at the pool. She's always talking, well, I did this and I did that and blah, blah, blah. And this poor kid. And I'm like, are you stupid? And she looked at me the other day. This was at 4th of July. I'd had a little bit to drink. And she goes, what do you mean? What am I stupid? And I go, you do know that the mom is the abuser, right? Well, why would you think that? I don't know. How much psychology books have you read? Well, I don't do that. Then maybe you shouldn't be.
Yeah.
Maybe you think you might want to read just one.
And that's the problem. They have a lot of power because the judges rely on them, right? And, as my attorney said way back in the day, there it is. Everybody drink now. Well, I got a drink because I said back in the day. There we go.
Huzzah.
Back in
Although, by the way, these Celsiuses, I'm not plugging them. I'm not getting paid for it. These things are to die for. I love them. But my attorney back in the day said that, there we go. Yeah, playa. Said that the reason they are guardian ad litems is because they can't make a living in the real world, right? Back then in New York, they got paid $50 an hour. My attorney was $400 an hour. This is 20 years ago. So, if you could make $400, why the hell are you working for $50? It ain't because you're a great attorney and trying to do the right thing. It's because nobody's going to hire you.
Judges.
They can't make it as an attorney. They can't make it as an actual therapist. So they kind of get into therapy light, and they'll advise judges on what's best to do for the family. And I don't know what it is about me, but when I'm someplace, people talk and they forget that I can hear them. I have heard so many stories from just my one neighbor that I don't want to hurt her. I would just like to make her very sick for a short amount of time.
Tar and feather. Sorry.
Yeah. But I mean, again, how many families, more importantly, how many children has she affected, right?
Right. And those are just the stories I have heard her brag about, where she's just
brag. That's a particular word.
Yes, that's what she does. She brags. She brags about how she's like a white knight syndrome or a savior complex. I came in and I saved these poor families, and this mom was just having such a hard time because her ex was just horrible. And I'm thinking to myself, he's horrible because he wants to see his children. That's not horrible.
I'd really love to know the statistics on her caseload.
No. Did he freeze?
Right. Because okay, let's play this out. I mean, every time she's assigned as the GAL, right? Every time, what's going to happen? Because at the end of the day, it's kind of like one of those things where I go, okay, so 90% of these dads are dirtbags. I mean, come on, let's think about this realistically. I mean, we know from the statistics that it's actually right around 5% are dirtbags. We know this from statistics. We know this. Okay. What we also know about statistics are moms tend to be about dirtbag about 7% of the time. Just slightly edging out dads. Neither one of those groups are stellar humans. They're not. But at the end of the day, do we think maybe if we had a generation or two of actually, I don't know, correct parenting, government staying out of it, judges staying out of it, and letting parents kind of learn it? You know what? It takes a village is a huge thing. Back in my day when I was a kid, I got my ass beat by my grandfather. Then I went home, had my ass beat by my father. And you know what? My mom or my grandmother would tell on me to my grandfather or to my father. And it was just, you learn the lesson that way. But here's the other thing too. Good Lord. I get phone calls from Karens about so-and-so is off doing this and so-and-so is off doing that. Okay. Did you think to call their parents? Let their parents deal with it. And who are they really hurting? Are kids being free-range kids really hurting anything? I don't think so. One of the things I learned this last week really well was we have kids that go out and they do dangerous stuff. And it used to be we'd go, you know what, you're not going to like the results of that, but you have fun with that. I don't think it's going to go that way, but let me know how it turns out. And I sit off on the sideline and I let them crash and burn.
Well, they have to learn.
Right.
It's a natural consequence.
Right.
You have to learn you have to fail safely because you don't get to be old and wise unless you were young and stupid.
But what's going on now is these parents are jumping out thinking that they're saving their kids from this oblivion. And it's like this huge self-destructive nature. Why do they think that they need to save them? That's my question. Let them crash and burn. You know what? Everything heals.
Well, it's also if you save them from every little discomfort in life, then when they grow up and you can't parent them anymore and they come across even the tiniest discomfort, they don't know how to handle it. They don't have the coping mechanisms. We see it with girls all the time. Girls without fathers in their lives, which is unfortunately quite a few of them nowadays with the single mother epidemic, aren't taught structure and how to do all that stuff. So then they grow up and they get married and they have a relationship and they come across a slight discomfort and they're ready for divorce over the smallest thing because they weren't taught how to deal with not getting their way or possibly having to do this wonderful, horrible thing called, what is the word? Oh yeah, compromise.
Well, I mean, I blame my generation. I've talked about it many times. We coddled our kids, and I say we, even though I didn't do that. No, my kids are not millennials, even though they are, right? It's,
I can relate.
They hate their generation as more than I do, to be honest with you, right? Because they never got everything handed to them. They had to deal with difficulty. If they effed up, they got held accountable by me. I had 6 kids. If one of them effed up, all 6 paid, right? So, Saturday mornings, the internet got shut off. I was on it. I was able to use it, but they weren't able to until the housework was done.
I think we know how my children are being raised.
Yeah. So, but not to pick on you, Lindsay, but you're doing the job right, as far as I'm concerned, right? They need to learn that you can't sit and scream while mom's trying to do something important, or dad, or anyone for that matter. Because what happens is, and I've shared this story before, is they then go to work, and then they have bosses like me who say, my favorite phrase, handle it. I'm not going to do it for you. If the server's crashed and burned, F it.
1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3
3
Mississippi, 4
Mississippi, 5 Mississippi, 6 Mississippi, 7 Mississippi, 8
8
Mississippi, 9
Mississippi, 10.
And yet,
We got the
and yet
10 Mississippi.
and on TikTok, we're fine. Just
What
saying.
the heck?
It's something on your end.
Oh,
So, now I don't even remember what I was. Oh, I was talking about the server story. So, if they came to me, well, the server's down, I don't know how to fix it, shooting would be done, and help them that way. Not, okay, I'll go fix it for you, which is what most people do. When you have bosses that hold people accountable, I had one, I ended up firing him. 2 days later, him and his mom show up. His mommy wants to talk to me. Why did you fire my son? He does such a great job. No, he was a complete and utter F up. He was incompetent beyond belief. I gave him every
your
chance.
mother to this?
He brought his mommy with him. Well, actually, she did it. To be fair to him, it was her that did it, not him. I think he was just tagging along. But she's like, shows up, and I remember the HR manager calling me up, and I'm paraphrasing, but she's like, "You're not going to believe this shit," right? And so I'm like, "What?"
Were there a few more choice words in there?
Yeah. Oh, there were more than a few. And she's like, I need you to come to my office and deal with this. And I'm like, I don't want to deal with it. You deal with it. No, because her and I were friends. Long story short, we're all sitting in a conference room for about 2 hours dealing with this mom who wants to know every little thing. And we're like, it's none of your business. It's not appropriate for us to talk to you about it. Some of it is confidential. And she was getting angrier and angrier. My little prince would never do anything wrong.
Talk to your little prince then, because he's the one that got fired.
And we're talking about in IT, the most basic fixes in the world. We're not talking about the whatever is crashed and burned. We're talking basic, like tell somebody to reboot.
So in IT, isn't there like 7 layers of troubleshooting?
Pretty much, yeah.
So you start with the most basic area.
First,
so it's like
if you're not telling somebody to reboot first,
the physical components, right?
Before you even do that, reboot the computer because it fixes 80 to 85% of the problems. Same with the server.
So then after that, we're looking at cables, power.
That's what the problem is, right?
Right.
But yeah, you start simple and go progressively harder, and it shouldn't be in my lap until it's stage 8 or 9.
Right.
Well, the same thing is true of mechanics. As my dad's a mechanic, he said the problem he has with the newfangled kids coming out of school now is they have to plug the little thing into the computer to get the readout of what is wrong with it, and
it ain't got no gas in it.
Yeah, I mean,
but and sometimes the computer readout is wrong because it goes the opposite. It goes most complicated to simplest. And I remember he was telling me a story about when I went to go visit him. He was telling me a story about how he kept telling them it's the sensor. The sensor's off. There's nothing wrong with it. The readout's wrong. It's the sensor. And they go, no. The readout says this. He goes, it's the sensor. 3 days later, they took apart a transmission for no reason. And what was it?
The sensor.
The sensor.
I got to share a story. So those of you in New Jersey are going to laugh more than anyone else. So for those of you that don't know, in New Jersey, they're not allowed to pump their own gas. So my wife and I are going from New York to where we are here. It was one of our trips down. And we're in Virginia, I think it was, Northern Virginia. We pull into the rest stop. And there's these 3 girls in a car with Jersey plates who basically we'd been kind of following each other back and forth, right? As you do on the highway. So they pulled in. I pull up. I start pumping gas. And I'm watching them because they pulled into the pump behind me. And they had no idea how to pump gas. It was freaking hilarious, right? And I'm not trying to pick on them. I had to go over and be dad and literally show all three of them how to pump gas. And all I kept saying after I got done, my wife was like, "You got to be kidding me," right? All I kept saying afterward is, "It's not their fault. I will defend them. Nobody taught them. That's on their parents, mom or dad. I don't care who it is. How do you not teach your kids how to pump gas if you live in New Jersey? How do you not teach all of your kids, boys and girls, how to change a tire? It literally could be a life-threatening situation. But yeah, we don't."
So when during Mr. Squirrely's first deployment, they had to have a spouse meeting. There was an auditorium full of women and one guy. And he was married to someone who was getting deployed, but he was also in the military, but it didn't matter. Everyone had to go. Start counting hippopotamuses. And I'll keep telling the story. So the key spouse is up there on the stage talking about, okay, before your husbands leave, make sure that they teach you how to use the lawnmower. And I'm like, really? Or what do you do if you wake up and your toilet isn't working or it's overflowing? What do you do? And I'm thinking to myself, you reach up behind the toilet, you turn the main water valve shut off. And if that doesn't work, you go outside, you turn off the main water shut off to the house, you call a plumber. Apparently, that is not what you do. Apparently, you panic, you call this key spouse, and they'll do all of that for you. And I'm sitting there screaming in the back, I'm going, if you don't know how the water to your house works, what the fuck are you doing owning a house?
But again, I blame my generation for it. We made that generation, the subsequent ones, and it just continued on from us.
I had a look on my face of, are you freaking kidding me? The entire time, me and the one guy were sitting in the back looking at each other like, we cannot be this dumb.
But we are. And going back to the original topic, this is what we're talking about with like these gals, and you see it too with the mental health professionals, right? That side of it, where there are some good ones, there's some very good ones, but there are a lot of bad ones. And again, it's ones that cannot make it in private practice. You are becoming a social worker, mental health therapist. I'm talking psychologist, psychiatrist level, not like a social worker. You're not a psychiatrist and go into that particular field, meaning, working with the courts and all that, unless you can't make it on your own, because they don't pay anything. It's just like the attorneys.
Well, it's even if you were to look at so let's take a psychiatrist, for example. If you're an MD, you do a residency for 2 years, right? And then you go into your fellowship. So you're in your doctorate program for 5 years, learning how to do medicine post your 4-year degree. Now you're doing a 2-year residency just at the basic level, learning basic doctor stuff on hands-on. Then you go to the fellowship where you're learning the specialty that you're in. So if you're in family practice, there you go. But if you're in psychiatry, you're in a psychiatric clinic learning this sort of stuff day in and day out. You have to be practicing on your own in order to be considered an expert in your field for a minimum of 10 years with at least 50%. You have to have more than 50% clinic caseload in most states in order to meet the Daubert standards of an expert. Okay. What is going on here that will, family court? I get a new attorney fresh out of law school. She hasn't been practicing but 2 years, and she gets to be a GAL, and I'm sitting there scratching my head. She doesn't know her head from her ass.
Nor should she be expected to at that point. She just shouldn't be in that kind of position.
Right.
I've long argued that they should be practicing at least 10 years before they get in that position. And I mean family law. And because there are some that go into corporate law and can't make it there, like handling closings. As I know of one, that was their prior job. They handled closings, which is great. That's a perfectly fine position, perfectly fine profession. If that's the kind of attorney you are, more power to you. I support you. You have no business taking that and going and deciding whether a kid's going to live with mom or dad, whether you're going to cut off any access to dad by the child because you just don't think it's right. And that's the scary part is that, hey, Alex from Bangkok. That's the scary part, right? Is that they have that kind of power because the judges rely on them so much. I mean, I ran into it with mine and I ate her alive. I've shared this many times before. One of the best moments of my life was when we were in the courtroom. It was me and her going head to head. And the judge looked at her and said, he knows the law better than you do. Perhaps you should sit down and listen to him. And, she's a practicing attorney. I'm just an average guy. But yet I ate her alive. And the sad part is I had the ability to do that. How many people didn't? Right? Because she's probably handling 15, 20 cases at any given time. I mean, I don't know what the caseloads are now, but back then it was 15, 20, 30. According to my attorney, that's what they were handling.
I can tell you this: a practicing attorney right now, if they're in family law, they're probably starting out. They're probably juggling between 30 and 35.
So it's a little bit more, but
because they're at different stages of the litigation.
Right. So, but in essence, it's not too much different than it was.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it goes back to how much time can they devote.
Mm-hmm. Because it takes away from their family time too. This is a really bad hippopotamus.
Then you got a problem with your software because we are perfect on TikTok.
I don't know what it is.
I think it's an ID 10T error on your side.
I'll have to flush it out.
No.
I gave you the opportunity. You didn't take it.
We're a family-friendly show, Curtis.
You know how hard it is not to swing when he throws it right down the middle of the plate?
I know.
I was kind of banking on the fact that it's a family-friendly show.
I mean, that was like a change up right down the middle of the plate. And I'm like, Anyway. Oh, another snort. That was you, not Lindsay. Everybody drink. We get snorts. We got to drink.
Oh, yeah. There it goes.
Just for the record, this is non-alcoholic. Now I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
Well,
Jason.
we were talking about how they have all these cases and they're judging on all of them and they don't have enough experience to really know the case. They're basically trying to judge the entire book by the description on the sleeve, like, or one chapter or one page, and then make a ruling on that alone based on very limited knowledge of supposed, therapy or psychology or whatever. I mean, in the case of at least my neighbor, her entire wealth of knowledge of how, children and all of this works comes from watching, The View and daytime TV and, Oprah and Dr. Phil. And she thinks that because she's watched every episode of Dr. Phil, she's a board certified psychologist. I'm like, no, you're wrong. You sound stupid. And she doesn't even know what the DSM-5 is.
Wow.
What? Say it ain't so.
But even the DSM-5 is a joke anyway.
Well, yes, but the fact that she doesn't know what it is and she claims to be an expert in the field.
I love DSM-5 though. You know why? I have so much fun with it. Okay, so I get these attorneys that bring in these rookie therapists and they diagnose these women with PTSD.
Really?
Let's walk down the criterion for PTSD.
Oh, that's funny.
It's substantial. And we're talking, well, how long is Mrs. Jones reported symptoms of difficulties and blah, 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 blah. Well, she said it's been starting since, 3 or 4 months before I started to see her. Oh, so when did you start to see her? 9 months ago. What does DSM-5 say that you have to exhibit, how long you have to exhibit PTSD symptoms for how long and how substantial do they have to be? Well, it's a minimum of 5 years. And then here's the other kicker. What's that other, really, really, you have to have at least 3 traumatic experiences that are very substantial. they can't point to any particular event.
Or if they do point to an event, it is something that has been completely blown up or exaggerated. They'll turn a mountain into a molehill or a windmill into a giant because they're trying to justify the criteria for XYZ. It's like the people who Google their symptoms.
And when you go down that road with them, I've seen attorneys tear them apart. You have these expert witnesses that get on the stand. They're not experts. They're just practicing therapists that have probably only been practicing for a couple, 2-3 years. I think they're making some headway by helping someone out. But reality is, even under DSM-5, the science doesn't lie.
Well, it's funny because, you know, what you're talking about. I just did a podcast recording with Dr. Lynn Steinberg, who's like the world's foremost expert on parental alienation, right? She testifies as an expert witness. And she talked about going up against people like what you're talking about, Curtis, and eating them alive, right? Because they don't understand it. Some of them will deny it exists, kind of like that judge you mentioned earlier. You know, but that's where you have to, as a litigant yourself, be prepared to spend the money to bring someone like that in, and they aren't cheap, right?
The last one I had was $25,000.
I was going to say at minimum you're going to spend is 10 plus travel.
We spent over $100,000 between two experts on a criminal case that started off in custody. So that's substantial, you know.
Yeah.
9 hippopotamuses.
I'm going to kick both your asses.
You'd have to come visit me for that first.
I'll come down to the Des Moines airport and pick you up.
Oh, that'll be fun. Go into Podunk world. Where the men are men and the sheep are scared.
Oh, I got one for you. So,
wait.
Okay.
Oh, they all love that one. There we go.
Congresswoman Nancy Mace came to Iowa to visit, right? And you know what you know what she said? She said, real men and red meat. That's what's in Iowa. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Pander bear. So she's a lunatic anyway. Yeah, I mean, what is in Iowa? But a bunch of corn. I mean, come on.
You're welcome to come and see.
I will one day. I actually want to.
You know what? I might just put you in front of a tornado or two.
Please no.
You think we don't get tornadoes here? What are you talking about?
I've been in 2 of them. I don't want to be in any more.
Son, we deal with hurricanes, okay? Tornadoes are wannabes.
He just busted out the sun on me, Lindsay.
So
what?
He just busted out sun.
Son. Well, you are. The sad part is you're going to have to be my son. You're only a couple of years older than my oldest son. So, anyway. Oh, somebody just said he's going to be storm chasing in Iowa next year. Infantry CIB over on TikTok. You should hook up with Curtis. He storm chases
all the time. Every time I run into people, it's always like John McKinney, Freddie McKinney, Brandon Kopic, Connor.
Did you ever meet Jim Cantori? Did you hear he's retiring?
No, I didn't get the chance to meet Jim, but we run into Reed every now and then. We get to see the Dominator.
So we always joke around here. If a hurricane's coming, you're good unless Cantori shows up. Then you're effed.
Right.
And
I believe that.
Yeah. It was funny though. There was one time a few years ago, he was here and he's basically doing the job right. And then I think it was CNN. They had their weather person here. So they're on their knees in a puddle. Probably many people have seen this, pretending that, the storm surge is this and all that. And then you see 2 people walking behind them and the water's like to their ankles. It was like a joke, but yeah, when Cantori shows up, you're screwed. And he's on a first name basis with a buddy of mine. So they actually did a bartending gig together for charity because he's a weatherman also. So yeah, good stuff. Somebody just said I storm chased with Reed Timmer in 11B Infantry CIB. You need to hook up with Curtis. So
I ran into Reed in North Dakota and South Dakota.
I've never met him, but I have followed him for quite a while.
The kids love him. He's always really endearing when he runs into the kids, and
most of them are. All right, we're about halfway through the show. Let's do our little love bomb. Hit it, Lindsay.
woo!
Show us some love. Give us the hearts. Give us the likes. Make sure you share your comments. Thank you to Goblin, Paulie's Down, and 11B Infantry for the various gifts. And if you haven't already or aren't aware, hang on. I got to switch to the other one. Let me close that one down. Switch to that one. And that one. There we go. Every hat and mustache gifted gets a
Yeehaw.
from Lindsay. We haven't gotten any today.
No, and I can't see the YouTube comments, although that's probably a good thing because
That's all right. I can't see the comments on the other one, so all I can see is YouTube, TikTok.
I'm
So
yeah,
yeah,
having fun.
We're trying new software, but I miss my pals over on YouTube. I don't see their comments, so we're gonna have to figure that out. But I do have all the TikTokers. So if you're enjoying the show, give us the like, give us the thumbs up. We're here every Wednesday from 4 to 5:30.
Steve just said, Curtis, just call me Grandpa.
Why? Because I called you son.
Yeah.
Steve and I are pretty much the same age. He's just prettier than me. Anyway, getting back to the topic. So I guess my question to you, Curtis, is someone who deals with this. If you're a dad or a mom that you're going into this situation and you've got one of these gals or mental health professional who's doesn't believe in parental alienation, or a judge or whatever, what are some
He's gonna kick my ass. Should I take a screenshot? Oh, he's definitely gonna kick my ass now. Because what are some of the things that now he's just screwing with us.
It's glitching on your because TikTok, the stream is perfect. I don't
get it. Okay, so what are some of the things
you can do if you're dealing with, let's say, a judge, a gal, a mental health professional, whatever, that's either, let's say it's parental alienation, they deny it exists, or they're just slamming you for no reason other than they don't like you. What are some of the legal options that you have available? Understanding you're not an attorney, but what can you do?
The basic thing that I would automatically tell people is document everything. And when I say document everything, I think written journals are awesome. But the problem is, if you want something that can't be refuted, email yourself. And I always say same subject line every single time, because I get to, when I put in the search in my Gmail and I put in that subject line, it's the same line and it pops up every email, right? And it's got a date and time stamp that cannot be faked. That's my first thing that I tell people. The second thing is I love documenting text messages, screenshots. And here's the thing that I'll tell you. I spend $11 a month, $10.69 a month on 2 terabytes of Google space. $10.69. And I forward everything to that Google space. And I don't even come close, but I want to ensure that I've always got it. Because 15 megabytes that you get from Google, it ain't going to cut it. I'm sorry. You want to make sure that you have enough space. So that's the other thing. And the biggest thing is when you have these interviews with these folks, you want to make sure that you're well informed. You want to make sure that you're open, you're transparent, you're not hiding anything, you're reasonable. Don't be defensive. And the thing is if you open it up and they start attacking you and getting really aggressive, I simply say, hey, I'm being open and honest with you. I'm being transparent. I'm not hiding anything. I've allowed you to go into my gun safe. You can see that they're locked up. I've allowed you to go into my medicine cabinet. you can see that my medicine is where it's supposed to be, and it's got the child safe, whatever. And the thing is, you can go through my house and you can clearly see that all of the hazards that exist are mitigated. So what is it that you're trying to look for, and why are you being so aggressive with me? When I diffuse them and ask them the questions, I don't understand why you're being so aggressive with me. What it does is it naturally it diffuses them, and it makes them realize, wait a minute, I can't be like this. Otherwise, he's going to point out that all this stuff out in court. It's not going to look good on my end. Another thing I will tell you, cameras, nanny cameras in the common areas. Because if you have nanny cameras in the common areas, you don't need their permission. Don't have cameras in bedrooms or bathrooms. Have them in living room, entryway, front porch, dining room, kitchen, basement. You can have them in those areas. You can have them in the garage. You cannot have them in bedrooms or bathrooms. Have them in common areas, though. That's where you have to have them.
And the same would go with like a pen cam. As long as you're in a public place, there's no expectation of privacy.
Right. But when you walk into my house, my nanny cams are in clear view.
I got one on the wall right above me here.
Well, and the advantage to it is guess what? I was dealing with a kid that was lying to me. And it quickly fixed that issue. And guess what? When you're forgetful like me sometimes, it's a great reminder, where did I put that one thing?
Yeah, I mean, I have said to guys for a long time, cameras are worth their weight in gold. It can save your ass in many ways, whether it's family court, whether it's false allegations or whatever. I'm a big advocate for it. And go, Lindsay. I'm just gonna sit here and pick my nose.
I saw you giving me the one thing.
I was saluting you.
You were saluting me.
I was saying you're number one. Scott Incredible is on. He's saying hi to his favorite squirrel and me. You forgot Curtis though.
He's our favorite nut.
One of our favorite nuts. Andy wants to know, is saying something about we should be on the unsubscribed podcast. I don't know that one. Never heard of it. Unsubscribed?
We'll look into it. Ooh, I'll write that down because if I don't, I'll forget.
If you want it, you can reach out to them and tell them to get us on. One of us will go on. We're more than happy to. I'm not familiar with that one. I'll have to look it up. I have spoken to a few others, but whatever. So
Country said that was 8 seconds.
Country can kiss my you never loving you know what.
Oh.
Over on TikTok, we're just fine. I'm just going to point that out. We've had 0 problems where I send the stream out. It's all Curtis's stream. And I just got some love.
We're working out bugs.
And I just got some love. So there. Thank you, Positively and Happy. It's nice to know that we have positive feedback from some people.
I give you positive feedback with snark.
I'm just effing with you. You know that.
Yes, after y'all listen to me scream at my children.
They apparently have decided to pick on me. Yes, that was quite rude of you, by the way.
I'm sorry.
No, I thought it was great. You had 100% positive feedback from it.
So everywhere.
Literally not one person had a problem with it.
It's because I'm not afraid to actually do this wonderful thing called parenting. It's easy to have children. It's hard to parent.
Daryl just said, Dan, I've been playing guitar for 49 years. I'd love to jam with you. I'm open to it, although I haven't picked up a guitar in probably 5 months. My problem, though, is, and this sucks, is my left hand I'm starting to have issues with. Not Parkinson's, but something's wrong. I sound like a a newbie on the guitar now. It's awful. And I about threw it through the wall the last time I picked it up because I can't play like I used to. Lindsay needs to shave her head bald.
But I'm not part of the 4B.
I agree with Scott. She needs to be fit in with the rest of us. That's what he said.
Oh.
I've shaved something bald, but it's not my head.
Oh, righty then.
God, they're with the HR complaint.
She's talking about her eyebrows.
Uh-huh. Sure.
You're going to get us banned for sure.
It's my legs. I was talking about my legs. That's normal.
You need to go to the river, down to the river.
Down, yeah. We got to take you to the train station, as they used to say, right? Oh dear, no, I'm not repeating that one. It's not.
And I was even nice because I wasn't going to make the joke about at least it wasn't your right hand.
Oh no, Scott, you're going to get me in trouble if I start repeating.
Houston just said paging Karen in HR.
Like my wife. My wife is a walking HR issue. When we owned the gyms, I had to worry more about her than I did anybody else because she has no boundaries, and she will tell people exactly what she thinks of them. Yeah, Scott said he made the right hand joke for you already, and he did. So let's get back on topic here. Not that I remember. What's our handle on Twitch? We don't have one.
We don't have one.
That's Lindsay's fault.
Yes. I am the problem.
There.
Much like Taylor, I am the problem.
Are you going to start writing every song in the same 3 chords and then
oh God,
trashing all your ex-boyfriends?
I don't have any ex-boyfriends. So there's that.
Neither does she. She's a female. By the way, did you see Travis' outfit and hairdo?
No.
Oh, God help him when he walks in the locker room. Oh, man, they're going to just savage him. He's a soy boy now. Oh, my God. A 6'5" soy boy. They are, I can just see it now when he walks in that locker room. Oh, they're going to eat him alive.
So she neutered him?
Yeah, must have.
She's not even that good.
No. And
it's the same song over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
It is.
Yep. It's kind of like country music, you know. I backed my pickup truck up, ran over the dog. My wife left me, and I drank a beer afterward. It's basically
something with tractors.
That's basically every country song there is, right?
And
I wrote a cowboy.
If you're going to sit there and watch corn grow, there's nothing better to listen to.
That's pretty sad if that's what your life is.
18 wheels and a dozen roses.
Says the guy who sits at the beach watching the waves for 3 hours a day. Although, I don't know if I can share this one. We had one of them on the beach the other day. So a lovely young lady of probably 20, 22, 25, somewhere in there, strutting around. She did not need any life preservers. She'd already had them injected. Wearing basically nothing in front of literally hundreds of kids because it's July 4th. It's our busiest time of the year. And I just sat there listening to my wife just destroy her. And at best, she was a 3.
I mean, on one hand, I admire your I don't know if it's confidence or delusion.
I admire her confidence.
I admire her confidence, but I don't necessarily want to see it. If I cannot see the strings to your bikini, just because they make it in your size doesn't mean you should wear it.
Her thong was so far up her butt crack, she's going to need a crowbar to get it out. Okay. And literally right next to us was a family of 5. So mom, dad, and 3 kids. I think the oldest kid was probably 8. And don't think they weren't all looking at her. And I'm like,
I saw Daryl. Is that the comment you're laughing at? So if you play the country song backwards, you get all your stuff back. It's not
especially if it's a Joe Diffie song.
Who?
Joe Diffie.
What the frick is a Judd Iffy?
Joe
Diffie.
I don't do country music or rap. Sorry. All right, we just hit the 5 o'clock hour. Let's do our love bomb again because we need one.
We've kind of gotten off topic. Sorry, guys.
We've gone completely. If that's okay. You know what? We need to once in a while. Besides, it's kind of depressing to talk about screwball judges and all that. Metal, baby. Now you go.
Well, we are testing out new software, and we've kind of gotten
which apparently isn't working well.
Apparently isn't working well.
We're working through it.
And by we mean Curtis, because he's the producer. So fix it, Curtis. We are the stars. Lindsay and I should not have to do any work.
I do have a fix for it. I am going to hardwire it in with Ethernet cable.
Oh, you're running wireless.
Because I have on wireless, I have 300 up and 300 down.
Yeah, that's where the problem is. You're trying to stream me and Lindsay in, and I'm in HD.
So I'll just run Cat 6.
Yes, sir.
It'll be all right.
Once you do that, this problem will go away. So why you been blaming me all this time? It's you. And I'm wired already. So 300 is for peasants.
That's just in the Wi-Fi.
Yeah. So they have gigabit Wi-Fi too. Excuse me. Anyway, what were we talking about at this? We've lost the plot completely.
We have, but look, a dog.
Very
for a husky, that's a pretty tame dog.
She's tame now. She's an absolute donut every other time of the day.
Yeah. I don't know where mine are. I've lost. Oh, there they are. Molly's laying on the couch. Maggie's over in the other spot. So,
we had a husky before that one, and he tricked us into thinking it was a stoic breed, and then we got that.
Well, I had a husky back in the 80s and 90s, and then I divorced her. What? Did I say something out loud?
We're going to hell.
I'm driving and bringing snacks.
Daryl, to answer your question, yes, I am still a powerlifting coach. Yes, I am. I do it on the side. In fact, I was training people this morning. One of my peeps is going to be competing in August in their state championships. So I think they're going to win the medal. But yeah. Oh, no, Scott, now we can't. No, stop. Now I'm going to have to reach through here and bitch slap you, Scott, because that's my daughter you're talking about. Okay.
The comment hasn't popped up yet, and I'm almost afraid.
I am too. I'm gonna be really pissed if I put in the Cat 6 and the problem persists.
It's prior to Daryl's question about powerlifting. So anyway, yeah, this new software, I don't see the chats anywhere, but the only reason I'm seeing
they were talking about the dog, Dan.
I know they were, but Oh, Daryl, I'm 65 and still bench 250. Rookie numbers there, bro. No, I'm just teasing, buddy. That's awesome. 250 at 65 is not bad. Not bad. Remember, the rule is if you're not doing 225, you ain't lifting.
And we've lost the plot again. But look, a nut.
2, actually.
Actually, on this screen, I see 5.
None here.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5.
Oh, wow. This is really getting bad now. Those of you on TikTok, I mean, we've really lost the pot. Somebody ask a question.
Someone ask an actual question
that
we can actually talk about.
I don't know why, but we've the topic's gone. We're done with that one. Moving on. I know you were talking about the husky. Scott wants to know if she wants to slap me. Is there a fee involved?
Asking for a friend.
Why does Curtis count for 2 is what Steve asked.
For the nuts? What do men have that women don't? What's the difference between a snowman and a snowwoman? Snowballs. Also known as?
Nuts.
So, When I'm holding the nut, there are technically 5 nuts on the screen.
If you're holding my nuts, we got a problem.
Ew.
Well, you went there. I just finished your thought. You can't blame me, okay?
Where's
Thank you.
Houston with the HR, with Karen and HR?
What the hell? Let's get banned. Why not? Lindsay, really? Seriously. You
I'm
know?
sorry.
No, you're
So
not.
Country says,
Wait. We had a woman who actually said she's sorry. Is this being recorded?
no.
We should be
Well,
recording
yes.
this.
I
'Cause
mean,
we
the
actually,
platforms.
I mean, how often
But-
does that happen?
So here's what Country said: why women can only point out the problem but never offer a solution.
About?
Well, a question.
Yeah.
Because so I'm the wrong woman to ask about that.
Do
Because
tell.
because okay, I've said this numerous times, because I'm on the spectrum. My brain is more male coded in logic than it is female coded.
I
So
love you so much.
so if you come to me with a problem, I have to stop you and say, okay, do you want me to listen or do you want me to fix it?
You have to do that anytime you deal with a woman, period.
No, you're supposed to know, Curtis.
Yeah,
You're supposed to
that
know
doesn't
what
work
she
for me
wants.
because I never took that mind reading course.
Yeah, that gene skipped me too. I don't have the ability to read minds either.
So like I'll be talking to, or I'll be listening to a whole bunch of girls just
I know, Steve. It's kind of a weird, alarming thing. We haven't seen him yet. We're wondering where Mr. Squirrel is and why he hasn't made an appearance to do something inappropriate off.
She just gave the look. He must be standing off.
No,
to the
he's
side.
not. He's working late today. He's
Oh.
on the plane.
Oh, he's on the C5.
So what were we talking about? I
Nuts.
lost.
I don't know. Somebody help us out here. We've
Women
gone off.
women offering.
Oh, asking for solutions or not.
So I'll listen to girls yammer, and I'll be like, okay, is there a point to this discussion? Like, are we trying to brainstorm ideas, or are we just basically, the bitchery? And they're like, oh, well, we want advice. But then I'll offer advice, and they're like, no, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. I was like, why wouldn't you just tell me that you just wanted to rant at me, or you just wanted to use me as a sounding board? I'm fine with that. But I also don't want to listen to your problem if you're not going to actually try and fix it.
Right. And that's something that, I think, I don't know about you guys, but Jamie's got 2 modes. She's got one mode where she says to me, hey, I just want to vent. Can I talk to you? And I go, sure. And then she's got the other mode, which is, hey, I want a solution. Can you provide me with some input? I'd like your opinion on this. How should I handle this? And I go, okay. But I have to have that up front. That's something that she knows about me, because if she doesn't give it to me up front, it's kind of like, you don't want to go down this road with me because you want to bitch and vent, and here I am trying to offer you solutions, and you didn't give me the disclosure, the disclaimer up front.
But I mean, I will occasionally come to Mr. Squirrely and say, okay, I need you to check my logic for me, because if I'm going to vent a problem, I've already thought about it. So I'll have him check my logic for me, but I'll tell him that up front, disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
Or I want his help with something.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned that from my dad. When I was little, and I would go and I would complain, like when I was in middle school, he's like, okay, do you want me to listen to you, or do you want me to offer you a solution? And so I just kind of learned to disclose which one it was up front. It has saved so much heartache.
Doesn't it though? Right. So
It does.
my wife is horrible at it. Right. So I just let her spew and get it out. I just assume she wants to vent. And then I'll wait, because she'll eventually ask me, well, what do you think? That's how we've kind of worked it out. I just assume she's spewing until she asks me for my opinion, and then I give it to her. you know, and that's what works for us. There's no right or wrong, but it's what works.
Steve, oh my God, Lindsay actually thought about something before opening her mouth. She's a traitor to the sisterhood.
Ooh, Fabian just said, I've inboxed Men Need to Be Heard, but I never get a response. My apologies, dude, but I get literally hundreds of DMs and emails a day. There is no freaking way I can even read them all, let alone respond to them.
Hundreds? I thought it was thousands.
There are days. Lately, it's been, well, I'm on TikTok's SIT list so bad, it isn't funny. The day's coming where this, if you're watching us on TikTok, you better start following Boy Meets Squirrel if we can ever get it working on TikTok, because this show is going to disappear off of it. You better start watching us on other things if you like watching this, because this account is on absolute life support. I got 2 strikes on me. I've had 5 videos demonetized just this week for hate speech, one of which I was actually praising women on. So apparently saying good things about women is now hate speech. And their support is ridiculous. So it's not if, but when it's getting banned. And I'm probably not going to come back to TikTok TikTok afterward. I'm done with it. They can keep their 29. Like they were like, well, you blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, keep your freaking $29 that I made 1 month. You know, I mean, you ain't worth my time.
If just heads up, guys, I'm not nearly as popular as Mr. Dan. So if you need to contact him and you haven't had anything go through, you can, provided you're not trying to hit on me, because that seems to be what I get.
Well, if you hit on her, then I'm going to get involved. Because Apple said, am I quitting TikTok? No, I'm not quitting it, but I'm going to get removed from it. And if they do it, I'm not coming back. I've already had 4 accounts banned. My backup account right now is demonetized and flagged clearly, shadow banned, to the point that I'm at the 200 to 400 range on views if I put a video up, as opposed to the 20,000 I used to get. And this account, if you're watching live now, is 2 strikes on it. And as I just said, multiple videos reported this week. I'm just done with it. I don't care anymore.
Curious, what he's talking about is we're streaming on YouTube and TikTok,
right,
and Facebook
and X and some others. So
Instagram.
I have 0 issues with Instagram, YouTube, Rumble, whatever, the X, all of them. I have nothing but issues on TikTok. Guys, get off TikTok. Seriously, go to these other ones. You're missing out on
TikTok.
TikTok's
digging their own grave.
They are, and you know the sale can't come soon enough or the ban. Scott wants to know how to find you, Lindsay, on TikTok.
Squirrel Girl 1988. Gotta have my whole birth year. That was stupid.
Yeah, Rumble, like Scott said, I'd go to Rumble, but I can't afford the tinfoil. I'm with you, dude. The only reason I'm on Rumble is I use it as a storage space for my videos, because then I don't have to store them. So, but yeah, and I put more content out on YouTube than anywhere else by far. So all my long form videos aren't shown anywhere but YouTube. So that's really where you need to follow me, and I focus. But it's sad that it's
Imagine we should probably fill in.
Yeah, probably. Oh, look, he found me. Yay.
There you go. We got about 13 more minutes. Somebody ask a question. Apparently we're done.
Please ask a question, because we kind of got derailed.
Or make a snarky comment that we can actually repeat.
TikTok is Chinese mind rot.
What made me start Men Need to Be Heard? The pandemic. I was sitting home bored. My gyms had been closed. I heard about this newfangledy thing called TikTok. Went on it. Started creating videos. Blew up. I had, on the first account, I had, 250,000 followers, and then they banned it. And then I created 2, and that's still around, but I had that at 150,000, then got banned. And then for some reason it came back with about 15,000 followers, and now I'm on 3. So Would you rather see Dan in a mankini or a giant chicken suit, Lindsay?
I would rather see you in a giant, chicken suit.
I can just hear Houston now.
I could say something.
So,
bad.
question. Someone says, advice on handling toxic women in the workplace. Don't go anywhere alone with them and have a camera on you at all times.
And talk to HR.
And
Pre-talk
to
ahead of
HR. I would rather tell a guy to have a camera on him and avoid possibly false allegations or something, than not have it, because if it's her word against yours, you lose.
And I will tell you, having been someone who's done many investigations on harassment allegations and all that, go to HR first. Tell them you have concerns. You're not filing a report against her, but you're just making them aware of issues, and ask them to address the problem by removing your access to her or vice versa. Because then if she does make one, they have to deal with it. I tried to tell you there was a problem coming, and I was afraid. It's sad that it's gotten to this point. But I will tell you, of the investigations I did, 85 to 90% of them were unfounded. And I have shared the one story where the guy basically, we were convinced he was guilty until I did a forensic analysis on her computer and found her threats to him. And he probably would have gone to prison. So protect yourselves. And actually, men are, because they're leaving the workforce.
I don't. So someone said you need to check the law and recording. I would rather take the fine for the camera than life imprisonment.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're in a public place, those laws don't apply.
Yeah, those laws don't apply. So, like, if you're on the if you're on the sales floor at a business,
legally they don't.
Legally they don't.
But you may want. But here's one of the other thing I tell people is go to HR and say, I am going to start wearing a body cam 24/7 while I'm here at work, because I fear for my safety. I fear for the results of potential false allegation. If they have a problem with it, and they will in a lot of cases, I'd be looking for another job.
But I mean, like with the case of Mr. Squirrely, I tell him don't go anywhere, don't go out to lunch with a woman, don't go to any meetings with a woman on your own, always have someone else insist. And it's not because I don't trust my husband, it's because I don't trust them.
I no longer train women in person. I will only train them online for that exact reason. Even though, because remember, cameras are great, but if there's no microphones attached to them, she can say you said things to her, and it's your word against her still, right? So if I'm training a woman, and sometimes you have to spot them. So if I'm spotting a squat, if I'm doing it right, I am standing directly behind her. Things are going to rub up against each other if she gets into trouble, right? Because I'm going to grab her around the waist and lift her, and I make sure they know that, right? But it got to the point. I never had a problem, by the way, but I always had to worry about it. And that's why I will no longer train women, because I can't do my job properly as a coach and trainer and spot someone. Like if you've ever spotted a bench press, you know that things are hanging above head sometimes, right?
Yeah.
There are times you have to step forward and help them with that bar. And, well,
I mean, look at all the women who have set against the guys who have saved them. There's EMTs that was one guy ripped her shirt open because he had to apply life-saving measures. She sued him. There's a lifeguard that saved a drowning woman, and she sued him. I mean, you're literally suing a guy for what? Harassment for saving your life?
Yeah, I think, Dan, didn't you do a video on this with one particular?
I've done multiple videos on those situations. And, one in particular I'm thinking about is I'm aware of a situation where someone had to use an AED. Now, if you're using an AED properly on a woman, one, you have to bare the chest and you have to remove her bra, because especially if it's got an
underwire.
That's got an underwire, you will kill her.
Yeah.
Right? You have to do it. And that's why, by the way, you're seeing less and less male EMTs because of that risk.
Yeah.
Even and everybody says, well, there's the Good Samaritan laws. Yeah, legally and criminally, you may not see it. Doesn't stop a civil suit.
Yeah,
And you still have to defend
here's the other
yourself.
problem: when someone makes the suit, that's the burden, right? Because that's what ruins the reputation, because it puts doubt in someone's mind. And court records are public record. Steve had a question about recording cameras on the company floor, and it was like, one, it depends on the business, and two, go to HR.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Always go to HR first. And just simply say to them, I would even hand them a form to sign. I am making you aware that I fear for my safety. I fear the risk of a false allegation is simply too great. I request the following. 1, I will be allowed to wear a body cam at all times while I'm at work. 2, I will never be left alone in the presence of just one woman. There will always be a third party there who can, back me up. Because let's say, I've had female bosses. They were terrific.
Yep.
But there was many times it was me and her in the office. She could have said anything she wanted to me. And I was young and dumb and didn't realize it, right? Mm-hmm. And later on, she could have said I did something to her. It's me against her word. Who are they going to believe?
Now, see, ironically, I've always preferred male bosses myself, personally.
Well, every woman says that, Lindsay.
But even if it's 2 women alone in an office together, there's still the risk of, oh, well, so-and-so was talking about you behind their back. And I'm like, what conversation did you have?
And yes, it's not, every time. It's not.
No, it's not every time, but
it only takes once, and your life is ruined. And I've interviewed, I don't know how many guys on my podcast. I've written articles. I've done videos exposing this time and time again. And there are guys out there that are like, it's never going to happen to me. Guess what? Every man I've ever interviewed, bar none, has said, I can't believe she did that to me in some form or another. I never would have thought it would have happened to me until it did. Do not put yourself in that risk. That's why I said I don't train women in the gym anymore. I train them online all the time. But then they can't claim anything. They can't claim I touched them.
And I mean, it's so sad. And the women that do it, I know why they're doing it, but I still want to ask them, why are you doing it?
They're doing it for attention is why they're doing it.
Well, they're doing it for attention. They're also doing it because of the deep-seated thing that they want to see. Women do not understand that there's a serious disconnect. They want to be wanted so badly, and they don't like the fact that you don't want them. So rather than admit that they're not wanted or desired, they'd rather just accuse you of, well, he tried something because he wanted me that badly. And I'm like, first of all, you're a 2 on a good day. And don't you understand that is not that is not a club that anyone should want to join?
Fair point.
I'm in that club. No one should want to join it. It sucks here. And they wear it like a badge, and they don't understand they have a serious, true lack of understanding that their words have a consequence. Like, oh, well, he was proven innocent. It's fine. No, he's not. Because there will always be suspicion now. You cannot, once you squeeze the toothpaste out of the tube, you cannot put it back into the tube.
And I just did a video where I talk about, because a girl said, give me hard proof that men suffer when a false allegation is made against them. And I shared 3 different stories. A guy this year that was accused in a parking lot and went to prison for 31 days until it was proven he.
I think we've run into a lot of hard proof.
Yeah, we have. Well, look at the Jackson 5.
There's tons of them. So stop. All right, we only got a couple of minutes left. One final thought is with all of that is the ones that are getting hurt most with all of it is women. And again, I'll use a gym analogy. I saw a woman the other day lifting, and her form was atrocious. She's going to hurt herself. Back in the day, I would have walked up and said, hey, can I show you how to do something? Let me help you out here. I'm a coach, trainer, blah, blah, blah. I've been training for 40 years. Nope. I just minded my own business. So when she blows her back out, and it's not if, but when, it's on her, not me.
Well, and, you know, to that end, I mean, women who make false allegations are only hurting the ones that need to make the real allegations.
True victims.
Because no one's going to end up believing them. And here's something else for you. If you get really curious and you want to see how something can negatively affect your reputation, go on to Iowa courts and look up me. You'll see that there have been 6 domestic abuse protective orders that have been petitioned for. And here's the other thing. Every single one of those damn things were dismissed. And I had to prove that I didn't do that shit. But here's the big thing. The fact is the 6 still exist there, and they're there.
And it happens all the time to guys who falsely accused. That's, you know, the guy I interviewed, Jason. First thing, if you Google him, it comes up is he was arrested for heinous things. And he carries a paper in his pocket with him that proves that he was adjudicated and found completely innocent, not even in the town where it was claimed. And he has to, because he still gets threatened. And he can't get a job because what's the first thing they do? They do a background check. And the first thing that pops up is he was arrested for SA. Doesn't show anywhere online that he was acquitted. And I mean, proven innocent. But that arrest there and the mugshot, first thing that pops up. All right, we only got about a minute left. How can they follow you, Lindsay?
Squirrel Girl 1988 on TikTok and YouTube and Instagram, and just plain Squirrel Girl on Facebook.
Curtis.
K Bauer 82 at YouTube. Curtis Bauer everywhere else.
And I'm ending to be heard pretty much everywhere. Although how much longer I'll last on TikTok, who knows? Make sure you're following Boy Meets Squirrel everywhere. The show is going out. We've tried new software. It went okay. We have some glitches, apparently.
But we were able to reach a lot of folks, and I got the chat to work. So I think we're going to be able all next week see the chat, and
hopefully one day we can get our Boy Meets Squirrel TikTok up and running and use that as well. So
let me log in.
Well, that's something. I actually logged into it just before the show, but nothing can post. So, all right, guys, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up. Lindsay, close it down.
Bye, guys.
All right.